Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. How was your weekend? Mine was pretty good. You know what didn't get done? This. I didn't even get to start on it. I got the tracing done, and that was it. I actually had a pretty busy weekend. We caught a show Saturday night in Columbus, Ohio, which was fantastic. But it's one of those situations where I live in the middle of nowhere. Uh, we covered this last week. My town is about 18,000 people, and we're the seventh largest city in our state, if that tells you anything. I think our largest city has 60,000 people. Uh, so I'm about an hour and a half south of Pittsburgh, which is where I normally see shows. But even Pittsburgh's a pretty small city, you know, and so a lot of times things don't go to Pittsburgh; they'll go to Columbus, and so they'll go to Columbus and then skip across Pennsylvania and go to Philadelphia. And Columbus is about 3.5 hours, so adds an extra 2 hours to that drive. And I've done it a lot in the past. Origins Game Fair has been in Columbus ever since I've been going. I don't know if it always was. I started going there in '96. So '96, it was there. I went there, and I've been going there at least once a year ever since. And I've been there a lot to see other things, shows, and that sort of stuff. And so it's a situation of I live in an area that has a depressed economy, so there's a lot of cheap, things here, like housing and living is inexpensive, but there's nothing. Nobody, there's no, not even like, we don't have any music venues. We have one in the town north of me, Morgantown. That's where WVU is. If you're college football fans, you probably are aware of WVU, or basketball fans. West Virginia University is up there. And there is one music venue, if you want to call it that, and I don't think I'm exaggerating to say it's the size of this shop. Like it could hold 50 people tops. Maybe 100 if everybody's just. I don't know what the maximum capacity is, but it's a very, very small space. And they do sometimes get touring groups to come in, but these are people who are charging $5 at the door kind of people, not people who are selling tickets. And so I don't get to see a whole lot. That being said, there is a theater in downtown Morgantown called the Metropolitan. It's been there forever. Uh, there used to be a community theater, and they would put on stuff. I don't think that is a thing anymore. But this year, I have seen quite a few touring shows, bands, comedians. Like, they're starting to book there. And so I'm extremely hopeful that we will start to see a little bit more. I won't have to travel as far to see things. So, traveled for Flogging Molly, which I will always travel for those guys. I like to see them. I see them at least once a year. But we had a whole bunch of other stuff on top of that. My kid had a band thing. My kid had softball yesterday. So it was like there. It wasn't. I often in the past I have gone to Columbus and just like spent the night, or made a whole event out of it and not drive over, drive back. So to drive 3.5 hours, doors are at 7. We left at 11:30. 7 hours in the car, 4 hours at a show is a lot, but it's worth it for those guys. They're fantastic, and they at this point, there's a couple of the band members that know us. I've been seeing them now for 21 years. I first saw them in 2002. And so 21 years I've been traveling to see these guys. And a couple of them know me. I have phone numbers. Like, fun. Good time. Anyway, so I ended up being very busy. I didn't get anything done on this, which I need. This is due the first week in November. I really need to get this done. I need to get working on it. So that is a goal for the week before adventuring. And Yeah, I haven't played games lately. I've been working on finishing up like the last tweaks, rules, editing, writing, rereading, rewriting, re-editing, like that sort of stuff for my stuff. So I haven't had a whole lot of time for gaming. Um, and you know, we didn't get to go to Lorcana League because we had to leave to hit the concert, that sort of thing. So it was busy. It was a busy weekend, but it was in a good way, right? My oldest was here from college, so she got to hang out, and we went to lunch and stuff on Sunday, and just had a nice time. You know, it's those moments when I told Malia, like, this week coming into this adventure, this show that I just did, this cruise that I'm gonna do in next month or in November, and my kid doing band and theater and all this other stuff, and then switching weeks with their mom so that we could work around all this stuff. Like, it came to a head. I got a little upset about it. Like, I had to apologize. Like, I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed because everybody's pulling on me. Like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. My oldest wants to do this, but it's also my youngest has to do this, and I'm leaving. And it's just like, man, it's a lot. But in the moment, and I told him, like, I got a little upset, but it was like I was trying to tell her why I was upset, not tell her that I was upset, if that makes any sense. I was trying to be like, I'm overwhelmed right now. This is the reason, blah, blah, blah. And she said, we don't have to do this. I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, I know for a fact that once we're there and everything's okay, it'll be great. I'll have a wonderful time. Everything will be fantastic. But in this moment in time, I wasn't feeling great about it. And I think that's a real remarkable part of the way we work together, is that sharing those moments and being allowed to express my frustrations, being allowed to express my emotional state. I don't really know how to explain that without it starting a fight, or without there being a grudge to be held because of it. Without any, that's super important. And so it was yeah, it's all good. But what'd you do this weekend? Have you been playing any games? I haven't recorded any videos. I had the pink eye for a while, thanks to the cat. It's more of an allergic reaction than anything. Not that I rub poop in my eyes. So I didn't record any board game videos because it's kind of hard to do that when you have like a leaking eyeball. So I might try to record one this week, and that way I can kind of work on it over time. But I don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't have any kind of new exciting things, so I think I might dig into some of my classic games and do a review of one of those. And then hopefully, after my adventure, I'll have lots to talk about. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is serpentine. It is an adjective meaning snake-like in shape or movement. For it is not possible to join serpentine wisdom with Columbine innocency, except men know exactly all the conditions of the serpent. Francis Bacon, English philosopher, author, and statesman. Serpentine, Serpentine. So is Columbine in here? Is that like, being a kid of the 90s, the only thing I know about Columbine was there was a school shooting in Columbine. Like, is that, he's using that? I think, no. What the hell does that mean?